Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Adeleke Uzubakum. Today on the program, Minority Caucus aspirant kick as APC nominates candidates for 10th National Assembly principal positions. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olayinka Oyebide. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with the disputed July 16th governorship election in Osun State. The legal battle regarding the outcome is now over. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Senator Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as the governor of Osun State, delivering judgment on the appeal filed by the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in the election, Boyega Oyetola. Five-member panel of the Apex Court held that the Court of Appeal was right to have reinstated Adeleke as governor. Let's share the reaction of Governor Adeleke with you.
In the history of Osun politics, today is the day our God ordained to stamp his authority as the owner and giver of power. Today is that moment when the will of the people ordained by God survived the anti-masses plot of powerful forces. We therefore celebrate God Almighty, the author and finisher of our faith. We dedicate today victory to him as we finally assume the governorship of this great state of living strength. State power is of God, and he bestows it on whoever he wishes. I will remain God-driven, divinely inspired, governed with the fear of God. Our governorship is an affirmation that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
It's done and dusted. Senator Adeleke is the undisputed governor.
Is the governor.
It's the governor.
Yes.
It has been arrested.
As affirmed by the highest court in the land. There is nowhere to take the case to. Once the final court has given its judgment, everyone has to abide by it and see what lessons can be learned from the judgment. This is the final court, and of course they gave their reasons, and I'm sure the pronouncement of the Supreme Court would have some impact on future litigations, future cases similar to this. The pronouncement of the Apex Court today will have some impact, will help in deciding some cases that could be similar to this. As far as the Apex Court was concerned, the appellants, that's Oyetola's lawyers, failed to prove allegation of non-accreditation as well as overvoting in 774 polling units across 10 local governments. It also held that Adeleke was more than qualified to contest the election because, according to the Supreme Court, the appellants didn't bring the institution that awarded the certificate to him to prove whether the certificate was genuine or otherwise. That's another reason that
certificate forgery.
Yes, that they should have brought the institution to say, look, this certificate did not emanate from us and all that. So the Apex Court crucially affirmed that the failure of the second judge to write his own judgment, to put his views in writing, rendered the judgment a nullity. What happened was it was a split decision. The person who read the lead judgment, he had it in writing. This second judge merely signed. He didn't put it in writing. He didn't put his own thoughts. His thoughts aligned with the thoughts of the judge who read the lead judgment. But he did not, in doing that, he should have written it to say, I agree with so person along these lines and all that. He merely signed. So the Supreme Court said that by not putting his decision down in writing, that it rendered that judgment, that earlier judgment, a nullity. This is, whereas at the level of the appeal court, the appeal court ruled that it did not matter, that it did not put, that she did not put, or he, they use he for everybody in the judiciary. The appeal court ruled that it did not matter, that it did not write. But the Supreme Court saw it differently and said that it should have been written down. No, you shouldn't simply sign. That you should have written your own judgment. Yes, your judgment aligns with that of the person who read the lead judgment, but you should have put that in writing. So because they didn't do that, it was fatal to it rendered the judgment a nullity. The Apex Court also argued that the appellants did not prove the matter of overvoting. You know, that they should have presented the beavers machine and presented the voters register.
That's a long thing.
Yes, that they should have presented the voters register to prove overvoting in those 774 polling units spread across 10 local governments. Now, so the Supreme Court said that the appellants relied on a secondary, insufficient, and inadmissible method of proof by failing to present the genuine voter accreditation data from the beavers. So what this simply means, Ayo, is that the court will not rely on information about the record, the turnout of voters, the record of accreditation that is uploaded to the back-end server. You can see the significance of this.
Pen and paper.
We know we were talking yesterday about
from EC8A.
From EC8A,
yes,
being the primary source. Now, they are saying that relying on what is uploaded, that the Beavers report uploaded to the back end is inadmissible because neither the Act nor the Constitution makes it compulsory to do that. There is a correlation between this and what we have been talking about since February 25. Lawyers will understand the point that I'm making because, yes, and I'm sure you understand, which will have some far-reaching consequences.
What we are dealing with right now.
So if they would not admit that Beavers report, if they will not admit it in Supreme Court, and they will say, go and bring voter register, that you must use voter register to prove overvoting. I really don't know how. You know, I brought this up when that matter came up that first time. There was some people who were abusing me because I felt, are we going back to 2011, because technology should be able to help us determine overvoting and all that. So if Beaver's report is not admissible, Beaver's report uploaded onto the back-end server, if it's not admitted, look at the way it is described as secondary insufficient and inadmissible method. IREV is there, but that is a matter for another day.
Yinka, so, Governor Itola tried his best, got to the Supreme Court level, and he say has maybe in 4 years' time, he can still come back and contest.
Well,
but for now, the next 4 years.
There has been something like that has happened. It happened in Ekiti State. Fayemi lost in 4 years.
Came back.
He came back. So, but you see, in all this, what becomes surprising is, what then is the fate or the usefulness of beavers? Because from what we have seen, billions of naira was invested on beavers. So if it is not being admitted, if it becomes inadmissible as evidence, then what is? But all said and done, I think when you look at the trend, even from the first win, it has to go into supplementary election before he won. And it was just a very minor margin. And with this one that has happened, I guess politicians will begin to know that performance matters, relationship with the electorate also matter.
Yes.
If you only base your second coming or that you are going to win based only on performance, it will not work.
It doesn't,
because there must be human relation and there must be things that you will do.
And you must get your politics right.
Exactly. Don't wait on, because in all honesty, whether people will agree with us or not, what happened in Osun State is exactly like what happened to PDP at the federal level in 2023 election. Some of the leaders of the party in the state, directly or indirectly, were not in support of the governor. So, how do you expect that those who support such, especially the Minister of Interior, those who supported him or who support him, will not work for the governor? So it will affect, no matter how minor it is. In fact, from the result, you will see that if he had had the support, or if the party had been won, what happened will likely not have happened. But it teaches that in everything,
there is no guarantee that.
In everything you do, you must always take yourself and your supporters seriously. Because the moment you begin to think that it is only when elections are coming that you take your other opponents seriously, it might be too late.
For the politics of it, the APC had some had internal wranglings before the election.
Yes.
Did that substantially affect the outcome?
I don't think that, maybe to an extent, yes. But there is no guarantee that if they were together, they will still win. Because when they were together 4 years ago, we saw what happened. They needed to go for a run. Because the man won by the first ballot. Don't also forget, previous elections held, the by-election, the senatorial by-election. Yeah. You saw what happened. He lost only one local government. He cleared the rest. There was another by-election in Ife, which the PDP won. So the PDP had actually been showing strength in Osun. I will not agree with anyone who simply say, oh, it's because they had a quarrel. They had been strong. And there were conditions that even angered people and made them to vote against the APC. Remember, students were at home, and Osun election recorded the highest turnover of young people in recent times. They were at home, schools were shut, people were angry, and they showed their anger in the election. We talked about it here. One factor does not determine the outcome of an election. It's usually the accumulation of factors.
So many factors.
But you know, how did Adeleke get into the Senate? He had to win a by-election in overwhelming fashion because he won all the local government except one. So that should have given a sign that, look, these people are coming. Then when the governorship election came, you also saw his performance against an incumbent, the ruling party. It did very well. The ruling party was behind. They needed a rerun to overtake him. So even if they were together, it probably would still have been the same outcome. Because when I saw the way the election went, especially in Oshogbo municipal, it was not what I expected. It means that the civil servants on their own decided to rebel against the government. I think we've even discussed that when we looked at the local government by local government at that time, why the election went that way. You know, Top and other people quarreled with Oyetola. I'm convinced that even if they were together, they could still have lost that election. Maybe the margin won't be this wide, but they could still have won that election. Because even in the strongholds of the party, we saw the performance of the PDP. So it's this is the way I see it. The presidential election did not go the way of PDP.
Okay.
So, and you will expect that, okay, the presidential election should be different. Because they were saying that, look, for the presidential election, we are going to vote for Asiwaju. But in the end, it was still the PDP that won. So there is strength there, which we have to admit, and they have been building that strength over time.
All right. With vigilance from all and sundry, insecurity across Nigeria can be checked. Some vigilance groups in Kogi State have rescued about 134 victims who were abducted from various parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The vigilance men were said to have stormed the hideout of kidnappers in Odulo forests to rescue the victims who were abducted from Abaji, Kuje, and Kwali areas of the FCT, as well as total local government area of Nasarawa State. Meanwhile, bandits have released 3 of the remaining 7 girls abducted from the federal government college, Beni Yari in Kebbi State. The chairman of the Parents of the Abducted School Girls Forum, Salim Kaujin, said the newly released girls, Elizabeth Ogechi Nwafo, Esther Sunday, and Aliyah Abubakar, arrived the state on Monday. Let's share the story of the Kogi rescue with you.
Chief Security Officer of Kwali Area Council here present for their tireless effort in respect of this issue of kidnapping. On behalf of the People's Commissioner, who is a conscious commissioner, security commissioner in Kogi State as a whole, your message has been delivered. And by God, your message has been delivered.
There are people over more than 300 people in the camp, but there are already settles of people. And the remaining people, God, with his grace, he has saved us today because our vigilante, we cannot pay them. It is only God that can pay them.
This Kogi Vigilance group, even people from Abuja, were abducted as far as Abuja.
Nasarawa.
Nasara actually released or set free in Kogi State. Give us more of this.
This is what we like to see. Everyone knows that one of the strengths of the Abelo is in the area of security. He has done so well in the area of security, and everyone knows that Kogi State, yes, because Kogi is positioned in the center and sharing boundary with no less than 9 states, people tend to come into Kogi to commit criminality, crimes and all that. But the government is making serious efforts to defeat insecurity in the state, targeting this forest and all that. And the vigilance groups in Kogi, when you are driving even through the city, the Lokoja, you will see those boys, especially in the night, manning checkpoints. This kind of good news is what we give even you can imagine, kids, women, likely. Yes, look at this.
We are abducted.
You see, that's the way they dress. Their black dress, with their dingons and all that. So this is a very good piece of news from Kogi State. And you can see that they mention Abaji. Abaji in the FCT is a local government that borders Kogi, and that is the local government where Kogi continues to suffer. The fact that local government is close to Kogi is one reason why these criminals are disturbing Kogi. The bulk of the people, the criminals, they are coming from Abaji, which is in a FCT. The bulk of the people that they kidnap people in Kogi, that's where they come from. Governor Abelo has, in the past, entered even Nasarawa territory. He had led security people inside Nasarawa territory to give kidnappers a bloody nose. But they still haven't left the state alone. They still continue to kidnap people. Remember how they went and they killed the expatriates the other day. So, but with good news like this, many people will be happy. They want to see improvement in the area of security. And all I can tell the governor is, do not relent. Continue to give your best. We know that by the positioning of Kogi, it's a very difficult battle to win. Because they are coming in from different areas. Even from Ondo State. Coming into Kogi from Ondo State, from everywhere. These criminals.
All right. We'll take this breather. We'll be right back after the summer.
New beginnings are always colorful. When we celebrate the start of life's journey, we marry in colors. With our proudly Nigerian Dulux paints, now available in any color. Express your world however you want it. Visit a Dulux Color Center to get any color instantly.
Dulux, let's color.
Welcome back. Olugika, that axis, because of the terrain, because of the way Kogi is strategically placed, it makes it difficult, for security, because we have confirmation of, terrorist cells operating within and outside Kogi State. But for this vigilante, for the cooperation of the government with this vigilante to apprehend people that were abducted in Nasarawa and Abuja, is something to commend.
These people, they are not conventionally armed. I mean, the vigilance group. So for them to be able to rescue 134. And from what we saw, one of the victims said there are still some 500 or something more in the boat. So it shows that
the level of
1, 2, 3 to 134 means that it must be a vast space that they occupy. So why is it that we have not been able to trace these people and find how to deal with them? People, we have been talking about, individuals have been using drones, they have been, so is it that the whole security network in Nigeria, we don't have drones? We don't have anything that can pinpoint to us that, look, this is where these people are. Then we begin to think, okay, when you talk about not invading the place, that there will be collateral damage and so on, how did this vigilance group get 134? Or are we saying that there were collateral damage that we were not told about? So if an ill-equipped vigilance group can go into the bush and rescue 134, what does the security agencies that are armed to the teeth doing? Because I want to believe, because even from what we saw, one of the vigilance guy was carrying a Dane gun, which will not be up to what the bandits or whatever the kidnappers are carrying. So how did they get this 134? And the vast of land they occupied, for how long? Is it something difficult that our security agencies cannot do? We always little time, the Inspector General will say the Commander-in-Chief has given us order to go and do this. The Army will say the same thing. Do you need an order to go and do your job? It's like a story is happening, and a reporter is waiting for editor to say, go and cover the story. It's not done. So our security agencies, they need, is it a new orientation we are going to talk about, or new way of doing things? For me, it is a complete shame to be able to tell people that it is not any of the armed forces or the police that rescued 134. 134. Man, we should feel ashamed. And I hope the incoming government will wake up and do something about this thing. It's becoming, are we saying that these people, they can man the forests and do whatever they like there?
You know what this is telling us is that banditry and the activities in these areas, is like grossly underreported.
Very well.
Yes. It's a lot of things, like when these 134 were kidnapped, did we read about it?
Honestly.
We didn't read about it. There's a lot going on that you don't get to read in the newspapers. Security has literally collapsed in our country, except we are telling ourselves, we are deceiving ourselves. And it's not our character. It's not in our character to do that here. 134 people, kids, women, largely women. Look at them. It's perplexing to know that in spite of the difficulty that people are going through in our country, insecurity, in terms of the economy and all that, inflation, the extremely high level of poverty, insecurity has come to even worsen things for our people. So, efforts must be made to keep our people safe. A lot of these people who are kidnapped in their farms, these are not urban dwellers.
No.
They could just go to their farms, kidnap them, and it's happening. The Abuja area, maybe because of the forests, surrounding the Federal Capital Territory, there's a lot of kidnapping going on in the Abuja area. And we just have to rise to the occasion. The same thing in, we are reading about a church where they came and kidnapped about 40 people.
40. 40.
These guys have not relented. They've not relented. It will take mighty effort to stop these guys in their tracks. And it's not about simply announcing that we've done this, we've done. Let us see what you have done. Let us see what you have done. You have to keep our people safer. Look at, what's his name? Dogo Gide has released 3 girls again. Guess who had been with him for about 2 years? Some of them he has impregnated, his boys have impregnated a good number of those guys. Guess who are writing their final school certificate papers? You know? Yes. And a warning was sent. They sent a warning that they were coming. That warning was dismissed. Instead of beefing up security.
We have a caller. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I want to contribute to what we are talking about, the security.
George, go ahead.
Yes, the security is very simple. If you see, the head of the security in this country, those who have power in this country, if they want to see the end of peaceful Nigeria, why don't they seek international assistance? These people are using phone. They're using phone to call. They kidnap people. They say bring money to also place, and they say they cannot locate them. If you don't have the technology, seek international assistance to bring peace to Nigeria. Don't let's deceive ourselves. Those in the government, they have hands in it. That's why you want to seek international assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, George. George is talking about capacity that we might just need help.
I think so too, and I don't think when we talk about help, it doesn't mean that they will put boots on ground there. Yeah. Training even for our security operatives is not a bad idea, you know. So help can come in various ways. They can even provide equipment, you know, all those game-changing equipment, not necessarily expensive ones, but technology that we do not readily have here. You know, so when we talk about help for, assistance from foreign bodies, after even INEC is getting support from those foreign agencies and all that. So for security, we should not run away from help. If those foreign countries want to provide help.
You know, he mentioned the issue of registration of phones. These are some of the things that we were told. Registration of phones, name, and all that, that wherever you are, whatever phone call you make, they will be able to track it. Is it that we were conned by the NCC or the Ministry of what's the ministry now? The
communication.
Communication. Is it that we were conned? The same way we were conned about the registration of vehicle number plates. So something must be done. We were told then, and people had to suffer to do their registration for name and the phone. They go to your this and that. But up till this moment, nobody, to my knowledge, has been brought out to say that, okay, this is one of the kidnappers, he called so and so, and this is where, this is the... Is it that it is difficult? If it is difficult for an individual to get phone records, is it difficult for government to get phone records? People are kidnapped. Phones are used to call them. Is it that we cannot track this or what? And the essence of, you know, technology was introduced all over the world to make life easy. But in Nigeria, yes, we will embrace it, and they will make citizens to go through a lot of suffering, and at the end of the day, that suffering will be
It
for
will
nothing.
look like it's just for money.
Exactly.
A lot of people made money from
Exactly. So why is it that nobody, 134 people, they must have called their families?
I'm telling you.
So is it that they couldn't trace not even one of those calls to a registered phone number? I mean, there must be something maybe that they see that we don't see, or something they know that we don't know.
Julie, let's round this up with the Federal Government Girls College Jari that you were talking about. The people, the girls, how many months exactly have they spent in captivity?
Months or years?
Oh, yes. I think it happened around June 2021.
2021.
Yes, they were writing their papers.
I think so, yes.
And I think they have almost finished writing the papers. So it was one of the reasons they didn't want to shut the school. You know, they just felt, okay, let them finish their. But these people came and took them away, took their teachers with them as well. You know, more than 100 guests, boys and girls, taken away. Some of the boys escaped. You know, young boys with their bravery and all that. Some of the boys escaped, but the women could not escape. And they put many of them in family way. In fact, I was tracking reports. You know, they were reporting as some were getting pregnant and all that. Reports were coming out. There is a parent who had two girls in their custody.
Victims.
You know, so it's terrible. And Dogo Gide is one of the most difficult bandit leaders in the country because he negotiates like an animal. I was listening to an audio clip where he was asking for 700 million, and they said, what is this money is too much now.
700 million.
He said, I'm the king of the forest. That just as we have people in government, this one is governor of this place, he is the king of the forest. Therefore, they must pay what he's asking for. He said, where would they get it? He said, government has money now. You know, you just get extremely angry when you are listening to the kind of way he was talking.
Making.
And he has been operating?
Yes. This boy,
with all brazenness.
This boy, he kept sacks of money in the bush, and termites ate some of the money. Do you know that he said they must replace what the termites ate for him? You see the kind of conditions he's giving our people. It's better to not fall into their hands because, and up to today, they are still walking around.
All right. A fresh crisis is looming in the ruling All Progressive Congress APC over nomination of candidates for principal positions of the 10th National Assembly. Some aspirants have rejected the party's consensus candidates for the positions of the Senate President, Deputy Senate President, the Speaker, and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. The current Deputy Speaker, Idris Wasi, and Majority Leader, Alassane Adodogowa, rejected the consensus arrangement announced by the APC. They said they would not allow the 10th National Assembly to be hijacked and vow to proceed with their separate bids for the speakership position. Wow. This is, Iga.
You know,
it's a big crisis in the hands of the All Progressive Congress.
You know, success also comes with its own problems. And that is what the party is facing now. The choice that have been made from the party point of view, they think that's the best way to go about it. And I tend to agree with the party because if you don't manage this very well, some untoward things are going to happen. And many people who have had conceived idea of what the party is or what they think the party is we begin to say, Shebi, we told you, this is what is happening. And that is, it has confirmed what it feels. So, now, Doguwa wants to be there. The party has its own candidate. And today, again, yesterday stroke today, the opposition party have all banded together also. In fact, they've set up an 11-man committee. They have 187 members or so, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas the APC has 170 something. So there is that belief that if the opposition party can be able to have a solid front, they might destabilize the choice of the ruling party. And we may begin to have, or in the other alternative, they may have their own candidates, even in the ruling party, that they may agree with, just as we had during the Tambuwa episode in 2015. So the party needs to manage this very well. The party has been trying, but the truth of the matter is that in every climb, you must be interested in who will control the house for you. The president must be interested in who will control the house so that they will be able to be on the same page, not a rubber stamp National Assembly, but at least there will be some things that they will be able to agree upon. With what we have now, the party needs to quickly meet with all the aspirants. The man that was, the Kalu that was gunning for the speaker, who has been named now for deputy speaker, has already agreed. He has stepped down. He said, okay, party is supreme. Ado Doguwa, I'm surprised that he's still trying to forge on. You know, the last time he was interested, but because the party gave a candidate, he withdrew. But this time around, he thinks that he may not want to back down. So let's see how it plays out, and wish them all the best.
Do you think what Adeleke said, that the members, House members, should be allowed to actually sort out their membership or leadership, that the party should leave them alone, that they don't want external influence, that people should be allowed to contest? Do you think this is the solution to the seeming crisis we have?
Well, you know, the House of Reps members have always preferred to choose their leaders by themselves. They've always preferred that, dating back to 2011. This is what they've always preferred. Now, I'm not surprised that this is happening. It's not Dodoguwa alone. I watched Betara's declaration. Every one of them, this is how they are thinking. I listened to the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Idris Wasi. He was saying the same thing, that he has never seen a situation in which they are trying to hijack the National Assembly, the Parliament, in the manner it's being done now. And what Betara succeeded in doing is, he is just one of the numerous contestants, but he got everybody to attend his declaration. And it was at his declaration that they were all now making all these statements and saying, let us stand together. My view is that there is nothing wrong in the party's owning positions, but you don't have to pick people to put in those positions. You
But
can
there's
work.
nothing wrong with zoning.
There's nothing wrong with zoning. Zoning is good.
Particular zone.
Zoning is good. You see, if we do not allow zoning, because zoning is just like federal character principle.
Yeah.
It's meant to allow everybody to have a taste of power, so that no side, no area will feel marginalized. But it's, in my view, you shouldn't pick those leaders for them. Zone the thing, because the person that you chose may not necessarily be who they like. They may not like the person. And then, if you think that somebody is the best, okay, work hard, reach out to them. Some of them were saying they didn't reach out to them. I know that there have been a lot of meetings, especially on the Senate presidency. Yeah. You can see that the Senate presidency, some of the bad blood that we're already seeing is largely absent in the Senate presidency. People are coming out to say, yes, we back this person. Yes, we back this person. How many people have you seen coming out to say, oh, we back Abbas? No. It means that there is a lot of work left to do by way of appealing to those guys that, look, this person, we think that this person is good. What do you think? You have to hammer out a deal. It's not simply to just go and pick people, put their names and say, you're nominated, you have to hammer out the deal with these guys. Otherwise, everything will fall flat. And from what I saw yesterday at Betara's declaration, these guys are ready to confront the party. And it won't be the first time. Yeah. You saw what happened during Mulika's time. You know, even in 2015, the party wanted Baja. Yeah. But on the floor of the Senate, what did we see? I mean, or the House of Reps, what did we see? It was Dogara that won, against the wish of the party. We also saw in 2019, people like Wike wanted Honorable Chinda as PDP caucus leader in the House of Reps. The guys said, no, you can't choose our leader for us. We want Elumelu. And especially a lot of those first-timers. You know, those first-timers, they were saying, no way. In this National Assembly, there is a lot of first-timers. Yeah. The rate of attrition in the National Assembly in our country is probably the worst. I mean, it's the worst that I've seen anywhere else. In America, somebody was in the Senate for like 59 years. Yeah. 59 years. You know? What's his name? So, but in our country, you can see more than 70 people going back to the Senate out of 109.
The senators from the Southeast actually had a press conference yesterday, the day before yesterday, and led by Ifeanyi Uba, and they had their own to say that, look, it is not proper for the APC to zone it to the South-South.
Well, Ifeanyi Uba is not a member of APC, so he can't probably talk for...
I think he was speaking on behalf of Ojikalu.
The party. But you see, the truth of the matter is, when you look at what is happening, people may not like it when you say it, but you cannot be working in TVC and go and collect salary in channels. You cannot work something that you didn't contribute substantially to, and you want to have a big chunk of it. People may not be happy with it, but in all fairness, that is what happened. If I contribute 90% to a project, and somebody who contributed 10%, the time comes, you want to give him more than you give somebody who contributed 90%, there will be a problem. So, as much as they have that need to be taken along, they also need to play their own cards very well. They need to go back home and talk to their people. Look, and you don't have to...
But the election is over now.
Well...
What are we going to be telling them?
No, it is going to be... When the election is over, another one has started. If the election is over, why are they talking about wanting the Senate presidency?
No, you said they should go and tell their people.
Yes.
What are they going to tell them now?
They are going to tell them that next time, let us...
Without solve the problem at hand.
It won't solve the problem at hand, but the truth of it is that...
You see the things whole thing. Look at, okay,
Yeah.
Northwest
Yes.
has produced speaker 4
Yes.
different times. You are giving Northwest speaker of House of Reps. Why giving Northwest again deputy Senate president? There's no way people will not complain. There's no way people will not complain. Honestly.
Well,
out of those 4 positions, 2 going to Northwest, they will complain. They are going to say what is wrong in why did they end up
look at the quantum of votes
there are many reasons.
Perhaps, and
It's going to be interesting.
I don't know.
National Assembly.
It's going to be really...
No, but if you say quantum of votes, Northwest, North Central, gave Ashwaju 4 states. 4 states, not even Southwest, did better than that. 4 states.
Well,
and Northwest gave Ashwaju only 2 states, Jigawa and Zamfara. They lost other states.
All right, we have to leave it there.
So they have to sit with them and find a way to iron it out.
Thank you for your contribution. And BKO, thank you for your contribution today. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. And don't forget to join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Adeleke. See you tomorrow.
Miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.